And we are live. Welcome
Nice.
back to Moses Square Podcast Live Edition. I am Lauren Moses here with my brother, Desmond Moses, and we have another great episode planned for you guys. Um, Starting off with our mental check in, of course. We always have to do
Yeah.
those. And today is a little seldom just because of the recent news of
Mhm.
another sister. 2019 Miss USA, she unfortunately took her life over the weekend. And a lot of mourning is happening on social media.
Mhm.
Personally, I have kind of been down. It's been raining literally since I woke up this morning in Austin, Texas. So my mental check-in today, out of 1 through 10, I'm gonna do a good six. Um,
Okay.
Kind of pushing through, but still in the back of my head, having something as heavy as this situation that we are going to get into a little bit before we start and get into some sports news. But Des, hearing about this news, someone taking their life just
Yeah.
a few days or even a month into the new year. How are you feeling today?
Yeah. This is a little disheartening, mainly because her name Chelsea Chris. She was a young black sister who was really doing a lot of good things. Lawyer by trade, very well educated. Obviously, she was a Miss USA pageant winner,
Yeah.
2019. She also worked as a correspondent with Extra, so she just had a lot of different things going for her that appeared to be positive. But I think just all of this goes to show that sometimes in life, even what's put out in social media and put out in the actual media um, may or may not always be true. Folks still do a lot of different things internally, and some people handle things differently. I read up on her a little bit. It sounds like she was very into mental health
Mm-hmm.
and decompressing at night, reading, turning off her phone, doing these little tidbits, these little things in order to try and help her deal with some of the stress levels. But unfortunately, it seems like she succumbed to the stress and
Mm-hmm.
um, unfortunately took her own life. So, first, I would just like to send my prayers and thoughts to her family. Um, but for anybody, even for myself, I keep my schedule full, and some days are better than other days. Some days, just as humans, we don't feel like it. I hope we all know that it's okay to take a day, take a beat, give yourself 24 hours, whether that means just simply resting your body, your mind, praying, whatever that is to you, a quick vacay, do what you need to do because
Yeah.
just know there's somebody and probably more than one person out there that loves you
Yeah.
and needs you. And I'm sure it was exactly the same for this Miss Christ.
Yeah.
Um, so
So
yeah, that's my
obviously,
take.
ways to get help
Hmm.
anonymously. You can call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which I have put in the description of this video already. Um, Obviously checking on your strong friends. When I read a
Hmm.
bunch of articles, everyone described her as very strong. Obviously, empowering women was something that she held true to her heart. So, checking in on your strong friends, and if you are that strong friend, letting your friends know when you need help or when you need not to be their strong friend that day,
Right.
where you may need the strong friend on your side. So, please, if you are dealing and struggling with mental health different issues, please get help when you can, if you can.
Yeah.
um,
And I want to add to that, Lauren,
yeah.
because right now, and I'm sure you're just as aware and in tune with this type of stuff. We're in a time in society, in a world where, there's a ton of distractions more than ever before between, you know, social medias. I mean, and I'm talking three, four, five different platforms. Probably an average person has three different social media outlets
Yeah.
at the palm of their hand.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with detaching from that stuff because it's so easy to compare, and that comparison can really put an anxiety on you for anybody. We're human, so understand yourself and understand that it's okay to take that time to log off for a while, whatever it is you need to do. Whether it's for me, it's fitness.
Yeah.
I'll just tell our viewers and our listeners, it's fitness for me. I like to really lock in on my body. I feel like if I can channel that energy, whatever I'm feeling, and put it into a workout and come out knowing that I've built something, even taking one small step physically, it gives me a peace of mind. And um, you just got to know yourself and learn yourself. Even therapy,
Yeah.
great thing to be. I know in a long time, a lot of time in our community, um, going all the way back, all the way back. We were supposed to be tough. We were supposed to be,
Figure it
unflawed.
out.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
really we were told. We figure it out.
Figure it out.
You can't
Figure
go
it
to
out. It was
school.
viewed
Well,
as
figure it out. Oh, well,
hmm
we won't allow you to read. We'll
right.
figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, getting help was viewed as having a weakness. That's not the case anymore. So again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it is something that we really encourage all of our viewers and listeners and whoever hears this to really love yourself, learn yourself, and continue to grow because it's simply a part of life and it's a journey.
Yeah.
We're all on it.
And I'm actually glad you brought up social media. I know we want to get to sports, but honestly, this is probably the most important topic on our
Yeah.
list today. So you bring up social media, and actually, someone posted her one of her last TikToks of just the things that she gets when she logs in on social media, and one of them said that there are people in her comments telling her to kill herself. And
Wow.
I know that there's a lot of cyberbullying going on in people's comments, mostly celebrities, but even in high school, people who may be your friends that who may say they're your friends but don't act like they're your friends. And
Right.
to the people that are cyberbullying, hopefully the people that are
Stop.
watching this video do not. Um, you also should seek help, and it's okay to not be okay. Like, obviously, Des said, take 24 hours, do your thing, but it's okay to not be in the right mind space and to be like, hey, I need some help. Asking a
Yeah.
parent, asking a friend, asking a sibling. Because obviously we know that people channel their energy or their anger in places where it's usually not even coming from. They're
Yeah.
usually redirecting that energy to something that is
100%.
totally unrelated. And then these people who are on social media doing it for a living or just doing it for fun and have influence get the
hmm
brunt of that. So even if you are on the other side of this, it is still okay to ask for help. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, moving
And
on
seek it.
though, it's really heavy, but I do want us to make sure that our message here is it's always okay to ask for
It
help.
is 100%. 100%. Yeah. But moving forward, honestly, this week was a big week in sports.
Yes.
Changing lanes. We had some outstanding football games that took place. We have our Super Bowl contestants in
We
place.
do. We do. But how did we
Lauren,
get there?
yeah,
How did
yeah.
we get there? So let's talk about it.
Let's talk
The
about it.
first game on Sunday, we had Bengals going up against the Chiefs. I unfortunately did
Ooh,
not watch most of the game because I was helping out with the AAU team coaching. So I was very surprised when I went back to my phone and saw the final score.
yeah.
It was pretty sad, actually.
Well,
I wanted the Chiefs
obviously,
to win, but the Bengals defense, they came out big in the second half,
yeah.
held the Chiefs offense to 3 points, I believe, and
Three
they
points
just
in the
made
second
big
half.
time plays down the line. I don't know if you saw that last defensive play. I think it's number 91. I can't remember his
Hmm
name, but there was a video of him just chasing Mahomes all across the field,
Yeah,
nonstop. He's on the sideline like and that's how you're supposed to that's what's supposed to happen after last play of a game that could take you to the Super Bowl.
yeah.
Gotta give it your all. Gotta give
Got
it
to
your
give
all.
it your all.
What did you see in that game?
I saw a lot of good football. Obviously here in Kansas City, covering the football game, covering the Kansas City Chiefs football team. The fans, the feedback it wasn't good. They felt that Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City dropped the ball, that they lost the game. And throughout our coverage, even this weekend on KCTV5, I told him, I said, hey, you gotta tip your hat, you gotta give your dues when they're due, because this Cincinnati team played like real men. They came together, they made adjustments, and they played hard.
Yep.
One thing that I did notice is in the second half, I'm sure the defensive line coach was telling these guys, hey, keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. One of the things that makes him special is his ability to get out, extend plays, roll to the right, roll to the left, which we saw in the first half. He had a
Yep.
tremendous throw in the
Early
back of
too.
the end zone,
First quarter. Yep.
first quarter to Tyreek Hill. Those are the things that you had to limit. And the only way to do that is to keep containment on Patrick Mahomes. And they did a great job of doing it. But also our guy, Joe Burrow, man, I'm a huge fan of this guy. He is a
Yes.
baller,
Yes.
uber confidence. The swagger is it's unmatched. I like to see guys like this that are confident in themselves because the lights are bright in the NFL, especially in the playoffs. And this kid has risen to the challenge. And he reminds me again. I always compare him to a young Tom Brady.
He's
Hopefully,
getting
he
a
isn't
comparison.
retired.
I was gonna say
He's
he's
getting it,
getting a lot of comparison to him right now for sure. Did
and
did,
deservedly so.
did you know that Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have not lost a playoff game together?
Wow,
Obviously since
wow.
college, but yeah,
Well, they did an outstanding job in college as well. Obviously, college teammates down at LSU. But that is a great stat. They haven't been in a long time for the city of Cincinnati,
yeah, 33 years. Sorry, guys.
33
I'm just trying to
years.
plug us in on social media, letting people know we're live. Come join us, watch us.
Yeah, come check us out.
Yeah.
This is it's a great time to be in Cincinnati, to be a Bengals fan, and this is what the NFL is about. There's some young quarterbacks right now that have turned the corner, that have entered that elite tier. With the Aaron Rodgers and with the Tom Brady's, even the Josh Allen's, guys that we can really look at and say, hey, okay, Patrick Mahomes, you're not the only guy, baby. Let's
Yeah.
turn it up this offseason because this is what it's about. Any given Sunday.
Yep.
Any given Sunday. What was our second matchup, Lauren?
Our second matchup was Rams versus the 49ers.
Yeah.
Rams took it 20-17.
What was your thoughts on this game?
Matthew Stafford, shutting some people up, especially people on ESPN. Every morning I turn on ESPN just to see what Stephen A is talking about and who he going in on today. Past couple weeks he's been going against Dan O, saying that Matthew Stafford didn't have what it takes to
Yeah.
get to the Super Bowl. But he's there, so he clearly did something right. Um, but yeah, no, this game it wasn't as it wasn't as gritty to me as like play by play, like you're tuned in, locked in. But
Sure.
their stars showed up. Cooper Cup has been
Stars.
doing what he's done all season. Their star and Odell Beckham showed up. Both of them had 64% of the Rams' total offense yardage,
Yeah.
or total offense yardage in that game. And then the 49ers, they didn't end well. Fourth quarter,
Yeah.
they had meltdowns on
You
both
gotta
ends of the
finish
floor.
strong. Well, what's interesting is, even for myself, and I've been one to say this on the record that I didn't really believe in Matthew Stafford. I don't think he's quite the top tier. I think he's the tier below that.
Yeah.
Has the arm talent, has the ability physically. I didn't know if he had it inside, that unmeasurable. I didn't know if he quite had it, but let's also give some credit to the LA Rams front office.
Mm,
They got him some pieces in the tight end Higby,
yeah.
obviously Cooper Cup that led the triple crown in wide receiving in receiving period, led the NFL in touchdowns, uh, yards, and catches. Had an astronomical amount of all of them. That's rare for a receiver to have that type of success, as well as adding a crucial piece in Odell Beckham Jr. I
Yeah.
think he's still got plenty left in the tank, and this takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what team is about. But let's not miss the point and miss why LA they are who they are.
Yeah.
That defense, they got some more pieces. They added Von Miller.
Yep. They already had
Obviously,
Aaron Donald. Yep.
Aaron Donald, a stud. He's probably, and this is a rare thing to say as a defensive tackle, he may be the best player in the NFL. He wreaks havoc on games to that level. Jalen Ramsey, another guy who can literally lock down your number one wide receiver. They have a great defense and a recipe. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win this Super Bowl uh,
Well,
game, but
matchup for matchup,
yeah,
you never know who's going to come out and do it. Obviously, the talk is going to be about the quarterbacks.
sure, sure,
So that's obvious. But we have to just, when you think about the Rams now, you didn't think about them like this in the first week, 2 weeks of the season. But now
yeah,
that they have these powerhouse players who are franchise players all on their own, really, you have to give them credit where it's due. I'm looking up their last matchup against the Bengals. Bear with me because this obviously we're live.
yeah. I mean, it's they're two good teams.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have to give the slight edge to LA,
Mhm.
simply because of their elite defense. But Joe Burrow won a playoff game in in the divisional finals where he was sacked 9 times,
Mm.
showed an unbelievable amount of resilience, didn't waver, didn't flinch, didn't blink, still found a way to will his team to a win. It was a team victory,
Yeah.
but LA is going to have to bring it.
I have a
They're going
question.
to have to bring it.
I have a question about OBJ.
Okay.
Obviously, there was a lot of drama, I guess you could say, around him and his time with the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield, just having some beef, let's say. How does him winning a Super Bowl add to his legacy in the NFL after such a tumultuous first half of the season?
Yeah. Well, I think it goes to show that OBJ wasn't the problem. He's been a good teammate in LA. I think there's been a maturation process for him. I don't see him looking back and, flaunting his victory if it
Yeah,
happens that way.
yeah.
But it just goes to show that he has plenty left in the tank, and he's one of those guys. Um, I would say NFL royalty in a sense, on and off the field.
Yeah.
A figure that's almost larger than the game, but he has consistently put in the work in the off season, come back from an injury, been a professional, been a leader, been a mentor to other young athletes, and I think um, I wish and hope for him for the men he's become that he goes on to add this on to his legacy because he's a special, special player. And why not? Why
Yeah.
not add a Super Bowl
Exactly.
to that resume?
So the Super Bowl is in LA this year.
Ooh,
Um,
sunny LA.
we Last year it was in Florida, and
Hmm.
we know who won that one. So we'll see. Maybe there's some luck there. Playing in
Yeah,
your home city. We'll see. But
for the home team.
people in LA be safe because y'all don't know how to act, and
Look,
we know that COVID is still real. Don't be adding no extra variants, please.
right. And stay safe out there. I
Yeah.
know LA, they're having a little bit of time right now with break-ins and robbery. Y'all be safe, man.
Yes.
Watch yourself.
Yes.
Watch your brethren, your group. Stay together.
Mhm.
Show some love. Let this
Yeah.
be a weekend of positivity and
Celebration.
football
Yeah.
and celebration.
That's
Yeah,
yeah. That's awesome. So NBA now, because
NBA
trade deadline is coming up. Tomorrow is February. The first month of 2022 just flew by just like that. I don't know where it
Dubai.
went, but second chapter is here of 2022, and some
Let's
NBA
talk about the
players.
biggest trade then.
Yeah, I was gonna say some NBA players have a lot on the chopping block, and not so
Yeah.
others. The biggest name that I'm not gonna lie, tired of hearing is Ben Simmons, the 76ers guard.
That's our
Just
home team, but
he can't get a team to take him.
yeah. Well,
And maybe that's kind of harsh. Not they can't come to a deal. Both
well,
teams
sounds
cannot
like
come to a deal over Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was reportedly looking to go to Sacramento Kings, who then pulled out of the deal on the 28th.
hmm
Um, so we'll see. And we heard the Sixers want to wait until the offseason to deal with Ben Simmons.
hmm
But as we know, we've talked about it. Each game, money, money,
yeah.
money, money. So I would think for his benefit, he would want to find a team sooner rather than later. But
Well, not only that, Lauren, there's two angles to this. Even for the 76ers, there's a guy by the name of Joel Embiid right now that's playing his tail off. He's averaging 29, 10, and 4, shooting 50% from the field.
yeah,
You can't waste a year when a guy's playing at this level with that talent, because there's a health factor.
I was gonna
There's a
say,
window of
yeah,
opportunity, even, for him to be playing at that level, third in the Eastern Conference and not have a number two is outstanding. But nonetheless, for the Sixers, would it be worth making a move? Sounds like they're demanding a lot
I was
right
gonna
now
say
in,
they're
in
gonna lose
trade
some money.
requests.
They're good. They're gonna lose some money. So that's what I'm saying. We talk about NBA, NFL being a business. What is
Yeah.
the right business move? Do you go get a number two for Embiid and have a better stake in the Eastern Conference when playoff time comes, or do you wait it out and get more money for? I don't. Obviously, as athletes, we're thinking
Hmm.
win, right? But
Sure.
as a
Right
business,
now,
from a business standpoint, there's a lot of
I
money on
think
the
they
line.
should be. They should be thinking the same, honestly.
And from the coach's perspective as well, I feel like he should be thinking win.
Yeah. Well, the Eastern Conference is a tough conference. It's improved over the last few years. You got the Nets, you got the Celtics. You got some teams that are playing well. The Chicago Bulls that we've
Yeah.
talked about. You better have a number one and a number two, and almost a number three that's reliable, especially getting deep into the playoffs. If you want to make a run, my take on it is, I always want to pursue a championship, especially if you're in position to. Let's call it how we see it. Let's be frank. Ben Simmons, as much of a physical talent as he is, his skill set is lacking.
It does.
He's a 6'9", 6'10" point guard that doesn't have the ability to shoot a mid-range jumper, uh, extended, 3-point. He just doesn't have a jumper in his repertoire quite yet.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was a jumper coming along 2, 3 seasons ago, but he's lost confidence in it. It puts your team in a tough position. He's a liability on the floor, shooting free throws. Spacing is off when defenders can cheat off and double down on Embiid
Yeah.
with no fear of a knockdown jumper from your point guard.
Yeah.
It's odd. It's an oddity. As a basketball player, tell me your opinion on a guy like Ben Simmons and what he does to a team, and how, as much as he gives, how much he puts his team in a predicament.
So I'm not gonna say that he is the weakest link, but he's
Okay.
definitely their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
He's extremely guardable. He
Hmm.
can't be your number two if on any given night someone's best defender can stop him, shut him down entirely. Um, yes, he's a big guard who can muscle his way into the basket. But it's just people have stopped him for
Yeah.
years now. For the past couple years, they have stopped him. They have demoralized his game so much so that even when he was able to actually make mid-range jumpers, he wouldn't take them. Or he wouldn't take wide open layups, and he's trying to dump it
Right.
off to somebody that has two defenders on them. That's
Right.
not good basketball, and that's not good for the chemistry of a team because now you aren't playing in your rhythm.
Well, let me add this. Looking at the style of basketball and how it's evolved because of the guys like Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, shooters with range that can space the floor. That the game is a game of space right now.
Yep.
One-on-one matchups so guys can get to the basket or drive and kick to shooters. Is his game one that could fit the NBA as it currently
So
stands?
I was thinking about that when you were talking previously and trying to figure out which team I could see him on that
Hmm.
he would be
Okay.
a benefit to.
Sure.
And that's your question's very hard because when I heard about potentially him going to Portland, I
Yeah.
thought that's a good fit. I thought that's a good fit just because Lillard's gonna get his. However, when you brought up spacing, then I started thinking, how does Lillard's range play well with Ben's lack of range?
Right.
Because his defender's going to be sagging off.
Second.
So I don't see him being a good fit. Honestly, I think it has to start with him and getting his consistent being able to shoot consistently. Period.
Yeah, I agree. Even guys like Giannis, MVP type caliber players,
Knocking down
um,
threes,
use knocking down threes.
pull
He's
ups.
developed this in the off season, and that's what allowed him and his team to have that success. Even the confidence to shoot them. Even if you're only shooting 30%, you have to take those shots,
Yeah.
or it's a bad play. And Ben right now is just not willing to take those shots.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think the Sixers have recognized this, and the rest of the NBA is catching on because you would think for an all-star caliber player that there'd be a market that's tremendous, and
Yeah.
it's just not the case.
Not the case here. So they have 10 days. 10 days to figure it out, or they will, like they said earlier on January 21st, they will wait until after the season to handle Ben Simmons. Next and last, let's talk about. We always talk about our goals on this podcast. We always
Oh
talk
yeah.
about things that we're striving for personally, professionally, spiritually. But when things aren't going to plan, Des, how how do you get back on track? I know we've talked about taking time and doing this and this.
Hmm.
But when you have a strategic plan, whether
Hmm.
it is, this weekend I'm going to do basketball. Let's say basketball wise. This weekend I'm going to put up such and such many shots. I'm going to put up 1,000 shots. And I want to
Okay.
make 600, 650 of them. In the game, I'm not making. I'm only shooting 20%, coach. I'm sorry. I'm putting in the work, but it's not coming to fruition.
Yeah.
What's next? What do you do when things aren't going as planned? We talked about the NFL season. Kansas City Chiefs, they are supposed to be back in another Super Bowl. We talk
Hmm.
about Ben Simmons. He's supposed to be number two on his way to trying to fight for a ring with Embiid. Not going the way
Hmm.
we planned. What's next?
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to recalibrate, and you got to be critical with yourself.
Mm,
Obviously, you want your self talk to be positive always, but sometimes you have to be brutally honest and evaluate the situation for what it is. Okay, do I need to get help? Do I need a different shooting coach? Do I need to spend more time? Do I need to watch video, break down my jumper? What's going on? Something's missing to where I'm not having a success. And it's the same in life. Sometimes you have to evaluate. Do I need to slow down? Do I need to take some things off of my plate? Do I need to seek help, seek therapy? Do I need to talk to my preacher? Do I need to go to church? There's a lot of different things that um, we can do, we can utilize. And sometimes you just, again, have to step back, take a beat, but be critical and analyze yourself.
yeah.
Um, and it sounds a little bit selfish, but that's what life is about. It's your journey. You have
Mm-hmm.
to take that time and take the bull by the horn and do just those things. So to answer your question, I think that is it.
I
Be critical.
I know we have the same blood in us, but I didn't know you was gonna take my answer. I didn't know I didn't know you was gonna take my whole answer.
All
you
bloodline.
you said the word I didn't have in mind, but recalibrate. That's definitely it.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I was gonna say that was a little bit different was you said it too, but look within. A lot of times
Hmm.
when things aren't
Hmm.
going our way, we try to point outward, look outward, see
Oh,
who's doing what to us. Um,
yeah.
so look in first and do all the things that Des just said, but then also you said it earlier when we were talking about the passing of Chelsea Christ. Um, don't don't compare yourself to people around you,
Right.
because a lot of
Right.
times that's when those anxieties come in. That one that you aren't going along according to your plan. When sometimes you might have
Right.
just hit a speed bump, but you're still on the same path. You just hit a speed bump, but you're looking at Chelsea and Kristen and Sarah who are shooting 50% from the field, and you mad because they're on overtime women's basketball Instagram getting love and you're not. When really that has nothing to do with you. So one, always
Right.
look in. Two, stop comparing yourself to others. Everyone is different. Um, and three, just like that said, I can't believe you literally took everything that I said is positive self talk. Positive self talk turn
Yeah.
a lot of things around more than you know. You just have to practice it consistently. It can't be once in a
Sis.
while thing. Oh, I'm feeling down today. Let me do it. But next time you feel down, you're beating yourself up. It has to be something that is a part of your routine. Make it a part of
Yeah.
your routine. Yep.
I want to add something to that, Lauren, because I like to read a lot of Kobe books and Michael Jordan books and elite athletes, not just basketball players, but that's one thing that they always say is I have to take responsibility. In order to make change, you have to be critical and really look within. It's easy um, to again point those fingers, like you said, but in
Mm-hmm.
order to be a leader, you got to understand that, hey, I got to look within. If I want to make a change, whether in my game or whether in my life,
Yeah.
it starts by looking in the mirror.
Yep.
Nobody else can control those. And the one thing that we can control is ourselves.
Yep.
Shout out to my guy right here, Drick Bernstein. He
Okay.
sent me this shirt, Control the
That's my
Controllables.
mom's saying right there. I don't know.
Control the Controllables.
that is
Shout out, Dricky.
that is very true though, and I'll give a personal story about just in college being a captain of a college basketball team, um, in the ACC at that.
Yeah,
Not a weak conference.
yeah.
We were on a losing streak, 3-game losing streak, and I'm playing well.
Hmm.
I'm playing pretty good. You know, I got my averages. I'm cool, but we're losing. So at the end of the day, I'm not good.
Right.
And like you said, looking within. So I go to my coach and I tell her, hey, I know that in these games I'm showing up, but there has to be something in practice that I'm not doing, or I'm not getting through to my teammates. They're
Right.
clearly not. My example isn't enough right now. What more could I be doing? In a situation like that, if I'm not the leader that I am, if I'm not someone that I know that these girls are gonna follow behind, I might start pointing to them. Yo, you ain't making
Yeah.
free throws. That's why we losing. Oh, you ain't
Hmm.
slide over and help. That's why we
Right.
losing. But instead, it's taking responsibility, putting some honus, because you know that some girls need different care than others, or even
Right.
teammates. Some teammates need different care than others, need different direction than others. So it really came down to learning how to push each
Hmm.
teammate of mine individually rather than as a
Right.
collective group, because everyone isn't going to receive what you're trying to give the same way.
Yeah.
So that's just
And
a
that's a
little,
great story.
yeah, that's a little tidbit there.
That's a great story. And I'm gonna tell one quick one before we go because I had a leadership moment when I was down at Tulane University that was slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
We were a struggling football team in a program when I got there, with 2-10, or one of the worst teams in Conference USA. And I was on a mission coming from Iowa. I was on my second chance, so I was very focused. I was a redshirt. I had to sit out 18 months before I played a football game after leaving mid sophomore season. And there was a lot of doubters. I heard the chirping. People all the way back from the crib. Hey, Des, you blew it, dog. You left Iowa, dog. You blew it, man. I'm like, no, I'm locked in. I said, I'll show you. I don't care if I have to go to West Bumble. I'm going to make this happen. But Tulane gave me an opportunity, despite some resistance from Iowa. They gave me an opportunity, and in those 18 months where I couldn't play, I became a leader amongst my team, and it happened, a lot of it after practice. We would finish practice, and guys were like, "Yo, what is Dez doing over there, man? This guy's going to get a lift in at the practice over, bro. You straight? Like, you all right? You going through something?" I said, "I'm
Yeah.
on a mission."
Yeah.
I told him, I said, "I'm on a mission." And from the first month that I was there to month 18, month one, it was probably one or two guys that would watch me work after practice,
Mhm.
saying, "This guy's just like, I mean, he's good." Maybe 10 months in, there were 4 or 5 guys that were working with me now. And they're like, "Man, this guy, he's clearly different, man. Maybe that after practice stuff he's doing is paying off, man. I want to be, I don't mind being a little different."
Yeah.
By month 18, I had about 9, 10 guys that would come out there with me. And we went from a 2-win football team to about a 6-win. And that's a dramatic improvement, especially in college football, which is difficult to do, trying to get a group and a core.
Mhm.
But it's something, just looking back now. Tulane puts out about 4 or 5 NFL guys a year.
Yeah.
They're littered across the NFL, and I like to think I had something to do with it. But it started with just an action, leading by example, putting that work in.
Yep.
I didn't have the most to gain or lose at that time, but I knew I was on a mission, and I understood that, hey, I got to change the culture, and part of it is doing the work
Yep.
myself, letting them see the work be done. And I got to meet some great teammates, and we turned around to be a decent football team. So
Yeah.
that's my quick story. And
Dope. Yeah.
shout out Tulane.
Don't run
To
from
you,
the work.
baby.
Don't run from the work when things aren't
No,
going as
run towards
planned.
it.
Run towards it. They
Run
might say you
towards it.
crazy, but hey, you be
Hey,
better for it.
look, oftentimes opportunity is disguised as work. Run towards the work,
Yeah.
and it'll pay off for you.
For sure. Well, this is Moses Square Podcast Live Edition. I am Lauren Moses. He is Desmond Moses. And
Me.
make sure you follow us on our social medias, which is down below. And we thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.
Peace.